Hi, I'm David Bodemer, the editorial director with National Real Estate Investor. I'm here with Tal Bar-or from Meridian Capital Group. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, David.
How are you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing all right. All right. So, what's the latest with your? Can you tell us a little bit about what your company focuses on and what some of the deals that you're kind of working on these days?
Sure. We're a capital advisor, focused on all asset classes, office, multifamily, retail, hotel, industrial storage around the country, any major metro, any secondary markets, and even now in some tertiary markets.
Oh, really? Okay.
We've always had a national focus.
So, I guess there's a couple of things, that I'm thinking about. That last piece of what you just said about, for the past couple of years, a lot of the activity has been in primary markets, but you're saying that you're actually now playing that you're doing deals in other markets as well. So how is that kind of playing out?
Makes for new territories and lenders that are being more and more aggressive, going into new markets, following borrowers who are going into new opportunities in markets that are outside of the core of the typical New York, DC, San Francisco, and LA markets.
Right.
Typically some they're also playing in the Chicago markets, perhaps Texas and Florida as well, but I think a lot of people are starting to look more seriously and more actively at markets outside of those core areas for opportunities where they can make better yields.
Right. So yeah, it's about yields, right? Because given just how far things have compressed in the core markets, these are the places that people feel like they have to go to hit their targets.
Correct. And I think that people who are outside of the core investing, where it's simply just buy and hold and really don't lose money more so than make money, are really looking into those markets as an opportunity to have upward yield and opportunity to add value and capture that value, even in a market where, at least certainly for the last 3 weeks, everyone's been fearful of rising interest rates.
Right. So that was giving my next sort of thought, which was, given what we've seen around this little pickup in interest rates, how does that make you feel about? Have you seen any kind of effects of that in the way that deals are getting done right now?
Certainly, it's a lot of spread-based deals are having fires that we have to put out.
Wow, okay.
I think we do a fantastic job of doing that as an advisor to our clients and an advocate for our clients, just given our positions in the market and our relationships in the market. It certainly made things more interesting than they were over the last 6 months, but it also has caused issues for some deals and opportunities on others. So there are deals we've had where we've had to go from spread-based lenders and immediately transfer them to just a straight fixed rate lender with a balance sheet.
Okay.
We've been successful doing that with many deals in the past few weeks. And going forward, I think it'll also be something that creates opportunity for a lot of buyers. If there are people who fell out of a deal and a second buyer who is in line steps up, and similarly, I think some people may start looking towards a different strategy of what they may be looking to acquire and the financing strategy for those acquisitions going forward. I think you'll also see a rush of people refinancing at this point, where up until a month or two ago, everybody was very comfortable that they had another year or two of runway in a flat rate environment, and some people are starting to feel different.
So I guess now is a time where being in a position where you've got relationships with a lot of different lenders, lots of different kind of institutions, really pays off, right? Because like you're saying, you can kind of be able to switch somebody to a more appropriate product given these kind of changes.
Very much so. I think for a company that's been around 20 years, one thing that we do very well is if we had a deal that, for example, was a spread-based quote, we understand that and we work with the lender who originally had that quote out, but what we also want to do is execute for our borrowers. So we've done a very strong, fluid job of being tactical and saying, we know this property would fit for this lender who's a balance sheet lender and isn't necessarily spread-based. And while, they may not be either at the rate they were 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago, they'll still be well inside of the market of a spread-based lender that's going to make an adjustment that's just as fickle as the movement in interest rates.
Right.
So it provides an opportunity for us to really add value to our clients and also make sure that they get the best execution in the market.
And any thoughts about like the second half of the year? Any anticipation for how things should play out, and especially given how the first half of the year is played out?
If I had my crystal ball, I would be on a beach somewhere, as someone in the conference just said, in a condo in Miami, just trading interest rates. But I think that there has been an overreaction, as there always is, and maybe rates will come down slightly in the next few weeks or the next course of the month. But I do think towards the end of the year, this is something that should be a normal trend where we have an adjustment in upward interest rates. It's got to happen at some time. I think it's the elephant in the room, and the elephant may not be stampeding, but it's certainly starting to take steps.
Great. All right, well, thank you so much for taking some time to answer these questions, giving us some good insight about what's happening in the market.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching our video.
Thank you.